Is this your wife?
Yes, ma'am. They made this up between them. She had...
I can't help but notice that she's here on your side today.
Yeah.
Have those problems resolved themselves?
Yes, Your Honor. She had just gotten surgery, so she couldn't, when we were having the problem, she had got implants, so she couldn't sit down.
Who are you talking, which she are you talking?
This
right.
lady.
And why are you telling me this?
This is the plaintiff, Darrell Keith Harris. He says the defendant stole his horse off his ranch and conspired with his ex-wife so she could gain access for the theft. You can't just come onto someone's property and steal a guy's horse and get away with it. That's why he's suing her here and now for the $10,000 he's owed. This is the defendant, Janine Martinez. She says she and the defendant made a deal. He could have use of her semi-retired horse, Bardot, and in exchange, he would board her other younger horse, Sabella, for free. Well, unfortunately, the plaintiff abused Bardot, and she couldn't just stand by and allow that to happen, so she rescued her. Oh, and money, she says nay to that. She's accused of nabbing a horse. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $10,000. For all, she's now out.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Harris, you are the owner of Dark Horse Ranch, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at some point in time, Janine Martinez and you entered into an agreement about two horses, Bardot and Sabella.
Yes.
Okay.
Isabella.
According to you, what was that agreement?
Okay, I had an ad in Facebook and an offer up for a lesson horse. Because all my horses were, expert level horses. I get a call from Miss Martinez.
Did you two know each other beforehand?
No.
All right.
I'd never seen her before.
And she tells you what?
That she has two horses, and she had proposed a deal that she would trade me one of them, give me one of them, if I boarded the other one at my cost.
Okay. So she would give you Bardot.
Yes.
If you would
board Isabella.
Board for free.
Not for free. She would pay me just what it cost me to feed about $180 a month to feed a horse. Then another 20 or 30 for the.
I'm sorry. What is specifically your agreement with her that she'd pay you how much a month?
$200 a month.
Was that discussed exactly $200 a month?
Yes.
Or was she just supposed to bring you the hay?
No. She was supposed to pay me $200 a month. So
specifically, your agreement is she gives you Bardot and she pays $200. Well, what is normal board?
$375 to $425.
So she gets a discount on board.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does she pay you the $200?
She did. If you read our
what month was the agreement?
It was June of 2017.
So starting in July, does she pay the $200?
Yes.
And she pays the $200 until when?
She paid the $200 until April of 2019.
And what happened then?
My wife wanted to buy Sabella.
So at what point do you offer to buy Sabella?
The first payment was made in January.
Can I just ask you guys a question? Is anything between you guys in writing?
Yes, it's all in text messages.
Do you have friends who are testifying that that's how it went down? Do you have contracts?
We had one, Your Honor. When she stole Bardot the first time, she also took a complete file for Bardot, Isabella, and the bank.
How does she get access to your files, sir?
She walks. My ranch is open. My ranch is open. I don't even lock my doors. A lot of my clients use the bathrooms.
If you have a contract, why would you keep it somewhere where other people can get it?
Because that wasn't smart.
Why would you not have it in a safe place? Because that's the point of a contract, is to be able to prove something later.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to you, what is the agreement, ma'am, between you and him back in June of 2017 regarding the horses?
It was a verbal agreement that he have use of my horse, Bardot, for semi-retired. He approached me. I did not have his Facebook. I did not not approach him. I put the word out to some friends. I was looking to semi-retire her. She's 28 years old now, 29.
What's semi-retired?
Semi-retired, our agreement was verbally, specifically, he was allowed to ride her occasionally, walking, trotting only, no heavy riders, no jumping, no running, nothing like that, because she's already at 1 year, she's past the life expectancy of a horse.
So your agreement is that's the deal with Bardot, but who owns Bardot, according to you?
I do. The agreement was that I would let him use her and have her if he agreed to that contingency, that she was semi-retired. He told me I'm a 60-year-old man.
Do you have anything about that agreement in writing? Because normally I wouldn't take your, I don't know that that's a normal thing between horse people. You can use my horse until I feel like you can't use my horse when you're getting a price break on the, you know.
No, there wasn't a price. It was, I paid $250, actually, not $200 a month.
Do you have proof that you paid $250?
No, I always paid him in cash, but he would.
Do you have receipts that you paid $250?
No, but he
what?
doesn't.
No.
No.
But wait, because you were kind of shocked that I asked that. That's what people have. When they pay cash, that is when you need the receipt.
I know.
Because if you pay by check, it would be awesome.
I know it was stupid, but I did pay up until July. $250 for Sabella. She was my horse.
Up until what? July of what year?
Oh, of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens in July, according to you?
According to July, they approached me to buy the horse from me.
Sabella.
Yes. And she looked okay. The reason I took my other horse back because she was starving so bad.
By July of 2019, had she already stolen Bardot? When did she take Bardot back?
By July of 2019,
when did she take Bardot back?
May 28th.
And then after that, you agreed to buy Sabella?
No, before that. I had agreed to buy Sabella in January of 2019.
Did you start paying for Sabella?
Yes, I paid $600 towards Sabella, and I have all of my bank records. And then she wrote me something. When she stole her, she wrote me something saying I had only paid $100. I sent her
You paid $600 for Sabella, and what happened?
Towards Sabella.
Did she steal both horses at the same time?
Yes, they were both at my ranch at this time.
Did she steal them at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, when did she steal them? What month?
May 28th of 2019. She stole them
so
twice.
May 28th of 2019, she goes to your ranch and literally takes the two horses.
Yes.
And according to you, all of your files.
Yes.
And at that point, you had paid $600.
Yes.
Did you know she was the one who had taken them?
Yes, she told me.
Okay.
She told
and
me.
what did she tell you was the reason she had taken them?
She told me because what she said was, and she speaks in vague terms, everybody's telling her that I'm misusing the horse. Bardot is in perfect shape. She's on a specific diet. This is something, I was going through problems with my wife. They made this.
Is this your wife?
Yes, ma'am. They made this up between them.
I can't help but notice that she's here on your side today. Have those problems resolved themselves?
Yes, Your Honor. She had just gotten surgery, so she couldn't, when we were having the problem, she had got implants, so she couldn't sit down.
Who are you talking, which she are you talking about?
This lady.
And why are you telling me this?
Because
how about you stick to the facts? Do me a favor, stick to the facts and tell me.
She went to her house to take care of her because we were having problems and we were split apart.
Wait, she went to her house to take care of her after surgery?
Yes.
Did you guys become friends? Stand up, please, and come to the microphone. Did you guys become friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Somewhat.
All right. And then at that point, you tell her, let me buy Sabella.
She already knew I was buying Sabella. We were buying Sabella together.
Yeah, you were, except for that what you did, just like your husband says, is you went to her and said, sell Sabella to me, not to him, right?
I was going to buy the horse for her.
Is there a written contract on Sabella?
Yes.
May I see the written contract on Sabella?
There were two.
Who is the contract between?
She had.
Who is the contract between?
Between her and her. The second one, the first one she took.
So you do not have a contract for Dark Horse or Daryl with her for Sabella?
No, she took that.
You don't. Why would she? I'm sorry. You keep saying she took it. Why don't you have a copy of it?
Can I explain?
No, you can answer the question I asked. Why don't you have a copy?
Because
she stole your files, and you don't keep copies of your files anywhere safe. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why would you allow the wife? Stop talking. Why would you allow the wife to turn around and change the agreement and say, sell her to me, sell her to me?
She came to my house with a friend to vouch for her that she had made the payments, not her husband, and that she would like
That's
to...
none of your business. If you have an agreement with him, then you're supposed to abide by the agreement with him. How much did she pay?
She didn't pay. She paid $100. A friend.
So is the total, when you talk about the 600, is that including that 100?
No, I don't know what she's talking about with the 100.
Did you pay anything?
She paid 500. I paid.
Her
The
friend
$100 is
Guys, how
including.
much total did the two of you pay for Sabella?
We
I
paid
paid-
$600 together.
Total together. Okay, that's
And
what I
then you
wanted to
paid
check.
five.
And you, okay, there's no
So
dispute about it. That's
11
fine.
together.
Say it again. 11
It
together?
says it right there.
I don't dispute that, Your Honor.
Oh,
They
you
did pay
don't dispute that.
No,
Stop.
no.
She doesn't dispute it.
No.
When she disputed it before.
Yeah, she
when
sounded like she did.
When she had my
All right.
horse, she disputed it.
All right, so let me ask, why aren't you paying that money back if you decided to void the contract?
I didn't decide to void the contract. I have the contract here. There was still $1,200 owed. Part of the agreement in the contract, she was not to...
Yeah, but you stole Sabella.
No, I didn't, ma'am. I stole...
You went over there, you stole both of them.
Bardot.
I didn't steal a thing.
Yes, you did.
I have still legal agreement in the contract, which I can give you, that says until she's fully paid for, I am the legal owner of the horse. But they still owe $1,200.
That's fine. So then you're telling me, Judge, I have a right to decide that I'm going to steal her. No, you have a right if there have been... Did they miss a payment?
Well, no, she came to take over the
that's what you're the
payments.
legal owner if they're not abiding by your agreement. If your agreement is you're going to pay me X, then they're abiding by your agreement.
Right.
Does your agreement say anything about if I feel like you're not taking care of her properly, then I can void this contract?
Yes, verbally, yes.
Verbally, but not in writing.
First horse.
Okay, so you stole both horses.
No, ma'am.
Did Bardot end up back? You said yes. Bardot ended up back.
But then she stole her again.
Where's Bardot right now?
She has
I have her.
She stole Bardot. I got Bardot back. She stole her again.
How about you secure your property so people can't steal horses?
I rescued her, ma'am.
How did you rescue her? What are you, judge, jury, and executioner?
Yeah.
If you feel that they are mistreating the horse, you call animal control.
I did.
You go to court.
I did.
No,
She
you
did.
didn't. You didn't
She
go to
did.
court. You took the animals. That's theft.
He could only use her on the contingency that she was semi-retired, ma'am. I did not approach him. That was it was
What
nothing
evidence
to do with the
do
lesson
you
horse.
have that he was abusing Bardot?
A lot.
This is the evidence of abuse to Bardot.
Yes.
How is this a picture she was being used relentlessly?
Like she was supposed to be...
Keep going?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
How is this a picture she was being used relentlessly?
If you look at her, she has severe arthritis. She's 28 years old.
Okay.
Yes, she does.
Okay, but can I ask you, how is this a picture of her being used relentlessly?
Oh, it's just like she was supposed to be semi-retired. Our agreement...
Lady, stop vomiting words.
Okay.
Answer my question. How does this picture with a happy person and the horse stationary prove she's being used relentlessly?
Because it's one of many, many pictures.
Okay, but so far I've gone through 6 of them, and each one of them don't show me anything.
But she wasn't...
How is this picture showing me she's being used relentlessly?
Just so many riders, sometimes 5 riders a day.
Over the course of a year and a half? How does this picture show that she's being used relentlessly? This picture shows she's being cared for by somebody.
No.
Okay. How does this picture show she's being used relentlessly?
She was not. She was supposed to be.
How does
this?
You can repeat yourself 1,000 times. We're done. Now, on your lawsuit against him, you are suing him for 10 grand. Why are you suing for $600? Because that's the amount you paid?
Yes. The $600 is the amount I paid.
And then she never filed a lawsuit.
No, you're right.
But somehow you two made up enough to get to my courthouse and then have a dispute in the waiting room out there.
Yes.
Where I understand she slapped you?
Yes.
What the hell's going on?
Who slapped?
What is it? It's not funny.
It had nothing to,
You think domestic violence in my waiting room is funny? It's not.
It had nothing to do with this, Your Honor. It had nothing to do with this.
It happened in my courthouse.
And I apologize to you for that. I didn't do anything.
Right. I'm yelling at you. She's the one who slapped. You are asking for a $5,000 value for Bardot. What is the value of a 28-year-old horse? There's not even a market for that.
I'm also an actor. This horse is at the center of all my advertising. You can put a baby under Bardot and she would. Bardot is a special horse.
I understand. Animal is special to you. However, the animal is property, and the property value that I have to set. She stole it from you.
Yeah.
Granted. Now I got to attach a value to it. Where do you come up with $5,000 just because? Oh, she means so much to me. That's not how court works. You have to be able to prove up the value. Do you have any comparables of 30-year-old horses? I know you don't because I looked it up,
Yeah.
and there is no market.
There is no market.
So nobody's selling a 28-year-old horse.
Her value is
Okay, we're done. We're done on that.
Yes, you are.
All right. The board for Sabella, you're suing for February, March, April, and May of 2019.
Right.
Because what? She stopped paying the $200?
She stopped paying the $200.
Do you have proof that you paid the $200 for February, March, April, and May?
In the contract I have for the purchase of Sabella, which they still owe on, it says that because I allowed them to make such a low payment on an expensive horse, they were responsible for the feed and
Is that true?
No.
Let me see the contract.
She was asking me to make payments on it.
Stop talking.
Yes, Your Honor.
Circle what you just said, that you're no longer supposed to pay board for Sabella. So we'll put a pin on board for Sabella. $2,000 for interfering with your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain that lawsuit, because I'm stumped.
During the time she was getting rehabilitated for her surgeries, she put so much stuff into my wife's head and made me think that my wife was doing things that she was doing. She put false reviews in Google and on Yelp. I thought my wife was doing it. She called city planning enforcement and sent them to my ranch saying I was growing marijuana and I had starving horses. She sent animal control to my ranch.
How do you know that she did that stuff?
I don't
Well, how do you know your wife didn't do that stuff?
She tells me what she did. She's proud of it. She doesn't do something. It's no good to her if she doesn't tell me. She'd never done anything and said, I didn't do it. If she said she didn't do it, she didn't do it.
Did you get in the middle of their marriage?
No, ma'am, I don't even have a Yelp account. His then wife came to me begging to buy the horse, saying, Daryl, that she made the payments on the horse.
Did they put you in the middle of their marriage problem?
Yes, ma'am.
How so?
I have texted them. I blocked them. He was sending me pornographic pictures of her doing oral, and I'm like, I don't want to see this, of the movies she'd made and pictures.
Wait, he was sending you what?
Pictures of her giving Cynthia giving oral sex in porn movies she's made, and pictures of her giving him oral sex to prove that
he sent that to you?
Yes, I have.
What you were about to say, to prove what?
It's because apparently she was going around telling people he couldn't get an erection or something. I told him I don't want anything to do with this.
He sent. I don't want to see the pic. I want to see that he sent it to you.
Yes, it's on the shows.
Did you do that?
From him.
She said that my wife had said that I was tiny and couldn't get it up, and I said, well, tiny, that's a huge mistake.
You're an idiot.
I am. Yes, you are.
All right, you sued for $600 because that's the amount that you paid, correct?
That's the amount that I paid.
Okay.
And the $800 was for the board she didn't pay.
Okay.
And then the horse.
Stop talking now so I can read. In the event the purchaser elects not to have veterinarian perform pre-purchases, the purchaser waives all rights. That's, I don't know why you circled that. That doesn't.
I'm sorry.
Cynthia will be responsible for the monthly board and care of Isabella until the debt is paid off. Okay, wait a second, honey. That's the contract with Cynthia.
Yeah.
Where's the contract with him where he agrees to pay room and board for Sabella while he doesn't yet own her? You know, that horse that's totally yours?
No.
Do you have in writing anything that says you don't have to pay room and board while he's buying Sabella? Him, not her.
No,
him.
ma'am.
Okay, that takes care of that.
But, ma'am.
So, just a moment, ma'am.
Okay.
That means you are entitled to the value of Bardot, which I'm going to set at $500, and the value of the room and board for Sabella that she didn't pay, which I'm going to set at $1,300. Now, let's talk about your countersuit against him. You are suing for $3,500 for the value of Sabella, but I don't understand it because you took Sabella back.
I have.
And didn't return the $1,100 you got paid, and not the $600 you paid him.
Okay.
He paid you.
They breached the contract. The reason I didn't pay board for those months, ma'am, once they started making payments, because if I had paid the $250 board, I would pay them $5,500 for the horse they're purchasing me because I allowed.
Yeah, but see, you can't have it both ways, lady.
No,
You're
making payments.
Stop. I took the horse because the agreement is the horse is still mine until it's paid for. Why would I have to pay room and board? It's his horse. That would be silly. I would be out money. No, you don't get it both ways. All right?
Plus the payment was so low.
Stop. By the way, a second ago I said you're entitled to $500 for the value of Bardot, $800 for the room and board, but you are also entitled to the $600 you are suing for, and that's $1,900. You are not entitled. Your wife didn't sue. She's not part of this lawsuit, so she can file her own lawsuit. So that's $1,900 we're working off of. The value of Sabella, because You want them to pay you for Sabella, but you already have $1,100 that you haven't returned. How would it be appropriate? And what planet are you living on? Because they destroyed what?
They took her out when the agreement was she was not to ride her or take her out till she was fully paid for, and she was responsible.
What are you talking about? Like what
Sabella,
was
and she took her out.
Stop.
Okay.
When you were boarding Sabella there, is there any agreement about Sabella being used for light riding?
No.
Who's supposed to light ride her? Well, the horse has to be ridden. Somebody has to ride the horse. Doesn't a horse have to be ridden?
Yes. She asked me to get trainers for it, and we have the whole text conversation. Then at the end, she asked me, like Jenny was one of the trainers. Then she said, what was Jenny doing riding my horse? When she just completely started outing herself as a complete liar. She would look at me. She looked at me in my eyes.
You're also suing for 1920. Monies paid for horse keep up from the time you stole the horse until today. Why would he pay you to keep up the horse that you stole? The horses.
I didn't. The horse got hit by a car.
Right, but you took the horse. Wait, which horse?
Cynthia, Sabella, the one they were going to buy, is now crippled because Cynthia took her out riding and drinking with some men. She came off. I have all the photos here. The horse got hit by a car.
Hold on one second. What evidence do you have that? Stand up. Did the horse get hit by a car?
I don't know.
With you riding it?
She got thrown.
Okay, let me tell you something. I was riding that horse. I was paying for board for Sabella.
I'm not interested in side tracking. Did the horse get hit by a car, yes or no?
I don't know.
Because?
The horse ran off.
Because I fell. I was riding by myself. I was not drinking. I was riding by myself. And that horse was not used to being out by herself, and she just bolted on me, and I fell on the rock, and I ended up in the hospital.
And then the horse took off.
Yes.
All right. And then did you find the horse?
Yes.
And did it look like the horse had been hit by a car?
I didn't see the horse after that. I
Did you see it?
I did, yes.
Had the horse been hit by a car?
No, I didn't see any evidence.
Okay, so what evidence do you have that the horse was hit by a car?
lot, ma'am.
No, don't just hand me a bunch of papers of things your friends say. Specifically, tell me what evidence do you have that the horse was hit by? I presume there's going to be a police report if the...
A vet bill.
Anything like that?
Bills, yes.
Do you have does a vet say there's broken bones, a horse was hit by a car?
No, but I have vet bills. The horse is still lame to this day.
My question to you, lameness is not evidence that a horse was hit by a car while she was riding with drunken people.
I have the evidence here.
That's not the same.
By herself.
I have this is the people who caught the horse.
Caught the horse.
Yes.
Do they stop?
Down Glen Oaks
and do they say they saw the horse hit by a car?
Yes. Yes.
Let me see that.
There's that.
Those are my neighbors.
The horse is now...
Can you both stop talking and let me read what I just asked to read? Okay, this is double hearsay. This person is saying someone else said that to them. Do you have anything from an actual witness who says that this horse was hit by...
I have photographs.
Photographs of the horse being hit by a car?
No. I photographed that.
Photographs that the horse is lame. Do you have a vet saying this horse is lame from an impact?
Just a lame.
In fact, you have the opposite. The vet says that the lameness is due to something biological, right?
No. There was testing for that because she was so lame, but it's in the...
Okay. All right. The cost of feed and hay, is this again since you've had to pay feed and hay?
I have.
The cost of a trainer and horse hauling since past the time that you stole the horses or took them back. The cost of health care for the horses while you've had the horses that you're not supposed to have.
Because they breached the contract.
The cost for equipment for the horses, the cost for structures built for the horses that you have stolen that you're not supposed to have.
Ma'am, I didn't
have I got it? And slander. What's a slander?
He was some of what you heard today. He was also going around telling people that I was a drug addict, a lesbian. I don't even smoke or drink, and all this thing about Yelp and that I asked him to see if he could get an erection. None of that is none. I actually blocked them.
All right, we're done, folks. I'm finding in the plaintiff's favor in this case, not in the amount he's asking of $10,000, but in the amount that I said of $1,900 on the counterclaim. 0. That is my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, both sides hold on, please.
Well, after all is said and done in this rather complex case, the plaintiff ends up with you, the defendant, owing him $1,900.
Crazy. They destroyed. I don't know why she wouldn't look at the evidence of the...
Well, you know, neither one of you were very well prepared with real documents for her.
Well,
I mean,
I've had
she
contracts.
asked you and you just couldn't show proper stuff. I'm sorry, but you didn't prepare very well. You admit that?
Well, I only had a week because he didn't serve me. So.
I'm just saying, you weren't very well prepared. Okay. I'm sorry about that. That's the judge's decision.
Well, it's, I feel like, I have the horses back. They're safe now. If she saw the before and after photo.
Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is one of the best days of my life.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because she stole my horse, and now she's convicted.
She's got the horse back, she just said.
Yeah, but the judge, I got paid for the horse because the judge said she did steal my horse.
Well, you're getting $1,900 back. You're
Right.
suing for $10,000. That's only a pittance compared to what you want.
It wasn't about the money. It was about disclosing the fact that she stole my horse.
Okay.
She stole my horse, and now the judge paid me for the paid me.
Bottom line is you're happy, right?
The bottom line is I'm happy.
Best day of your life.
It's the best day of my life, and she's a convicted horse thief.
Okay.
And
So
I'll
be
live
it.
with it. I still have 20-something horses. I'm okay. I love that horse.
Yep.
And I love that horse.
Okay. That's
But,
good. Thank
yeah.
you very much.
You have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll have a good day. Harvey, have a good day.
Doug, here's the thing. She sold the horse to him, and the bottom line is she can't take it back. She doesn't have a lien on the horse. Her remedy is to call animal control. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Terrell Jones. He says he hired the defendant to do some minor engine work on his truck and agreed to pay him $200. After 4 weeks, the job wasn't completed, so we sent another guy over to see what the problem was. Turns out the defendant ruined his engine, which wouldn't crank because it was seized up. Now his $200 job is going to cost him $2,000 because he needs a new motor. The defendant ruined his truck, refuses to cough up the money to fix it, and he's now suing for $2,272.23, the cost of a new engine and labor. This is the defendant, Troy Champion Sr. He says he did the work on the plaintiff's engine, and the guy took his sweet time picking the thing up. He told the plaintiff there was sludge in the oil, and if it leaked into the motor, the whole thing would blow. Sure enough, the engine seized on the plaintiff's truck. The thing had close to 300,000 miles on it, and sometimes things happen to old engines. How the plaintiff thinks he now owes him a new engine is laughable, and he thinks the judge will agree. He's accused of being a shoddy mechanic.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff hired the defendant to do some repair work on his truck and says the guy seized the engine up. But the defendant says that he's not going to put a new engine in this guy's truck. The truck has almost 300,000 miles on it. Anything could go wrong, and it did. It's the case of a little engine that couldn't.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Jones, tell me about your car. What year was it?
It was a 2003 Ford Expedition.
Okay, and how many miles did it have on it?
At the time, it had about 297,000.
Okay, and you brought it to him because what was wrong with it?
I brought it to him to have some preventive maintenance done on it prior to taking a trip out of town. Specifically,
What was the preventive maintenance you needed done?
preventive maintenance to check my spark plugs to make sure that they were tight inside the engine, which he was going to charge me about $60 to do that.
Okay, and your complaint, which you state, is that you brought it to him to change the head gaskets on the engine.
The original thing was to check the spark plugs.
What are head gaskets versus spark plugs?
It wasn't head gaskets. It was intake gaskets. And
Okay,
also,
what are intake gaskets? Then everybody,
Right.
nobody's precise around me. What are intake gaskets?
intake gasket sits below the intake, and they have to be torqued down at a certain ratio. And originally, the spark plug tune-up thing was not true because somebody had already did some maintenance to the spark plugs because they had got cross-threaded. So he brought it to me to re-thread it and make sure they were in there tight, which I did.
Okay.
After doing so, it set a week or two, and he came to get it. I noticed all the coolant spraying out a little portion of the intake, which is where the gasket comes in at. It's a big job.
So you tell him,
I tell him, you could drive it, but pretty soon it's going to mess your engine
and
up.
therefore he should do what?
He should change that and have it fixed.
And did you do that?
Well, I had to change the price. Originally it was $200.
Yeah.
So when I noticed that the area that was leaking,
requires me to take the whole intake
Yes, I got
out.
it. So you were going to do what?
Remove the whole intake.
And then?
Replace the gaskets to fix the leak, but the leak was not in the intake. A portion of that chamber is connected to the bottom area of the intake.
Okay, so then what happens?
I couldn't reach the back. I called him a few times. I said, I'm gonna have to get some help, and if you can come help me, man, it'd be nice. He was pretty busy, I understand that. But, he only lives like 1.5 miles away, and, no calls back. And when he finally called me, I said, well, I don't know nothing about it, and see what you could do, and he just kept brushing it off for a while. So I finally called a mutual friend of ours to come over and give me a hand. And I did my portion when he did the back 2 bolts that I couldn't reach because of my spinal, adjustments weren't there. I walked away for a second, not knowing that it wouldn't start because the battery was dead. He took his battery out of his truck, put it inside his vehicle.
The other guy.
Yeah, and we decided to try to get it cranked, but not right away.
What's cranked?
Turn the key to turn the motor 1 time. This is a procedure. I go inside just to use the bathroom. And another mutual friend was already there too. They were both outside.
You're an alley mechanic, right? Everybody's in the alley?
No, I actually did work out of a shop for about 5 to 7 years.
But not this work?
No.
Where's everybody walking up? Okay.
This work was at my home.
Yeah, all right. So you come out of the bathroom.
I didn't come out the bathroom. I ran out the bathroom.
Because
I heard them turn the key all the way on. And I heard some noise, clunk, clunk, clunk. I said, please don't, I hope they didn't turn this key.
Why not?
Because the oil has to get changed. When I called him the last time, I showed him he had sludge in his oil. And that was the main reason why I really was a little hectic about it. I told him, don't start it all, it's just a turnkey. I have to change the oil. And I explained that to him also.
So then the guys that you allowed to work on the car, you didn't explain it to?
They knew already not to turn the key all the way on.
So they screwed up and turned the car on, and that's why the engine froze up?
Maybe because of the leak in the engine, it froze up because I didn't have an opportunity to change the oil.
Okay, so then it sounds like what you're saying is, I had reached the point before I went to the bathroom that it was now time to change the oil.
Exactly.
I go to the bathroom, and then Mo, Curly, and Larry, who I've left with the car, turned on the engine, but they shouldn't have.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Well, then how do you not owe this guy money?
I didn't say that was the main reason why it happened. I said that's a possibility of it happening.
What's another possibility?
Another possibility is that the engine was pretty old and it had set a while and it already had coolant in the oil. So I don't know if it's...
How long had you left your car there?
Yeah, my car approximately from the beginning of October until it got towed November 30th.
That's a long time. Why was it there so long?
And unlike Troy said, I was calling Troy day in, day out to ask him about my vehicle. And then I had a unforeseen circumstance happen in my life where I couldn't call him until November, the top of November 3rd to be specific.
That's true.
And I started reaching out to him, about the truck. And one day he did answer the phone. He was in a store. And he was like, I don't want to talk to you right now about it. And I'm like, what's going on? He said, I prefer not to talk to you right now. I want to talk to you face to face. So I told our mutual friend, Telly, to go over there one more time. So he went over to Troy's house, and he's like, man, Troy messed up your truck, for lack of better words. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there.
It's hard to say who messed up your truck. It almost sounds like he's saying that whoever was turning the key while he's in the bathroom messed up your truck, which would be him. That's who he let touch your truck. But then he also says, and that's what he has said in the answer to the complaints, is your car is a quinceañera. I mean, your car is very old. It has 300,000 miles on it. So the issue of the seizing has to do with the sludge being where?
Already in the oil base.
Right. So the question then, did turning the key make the sludge go in, or was the sludge already in, sitting there for 2 months?
I had already just recently, before him working on the car, had an oil change done. So I don't see how the sludge could have been in the engine, bad oil and all that stuff with a fresh oil.
Let me see the receipt. What's your response to that?
My response is I didn't drive the vehicle. In order for the sludge to get in the oil, the motor has to turn.
So you're asking him to pay for a brand new engine for a car with 300,000 miles on it, because you're saying that the only reason this engine seized is because somebody tried to turn on the car. Is that the only reason it seized? Did you take the car afterwards? You had it towed and brought to a new place. Can I see the paperwork from the new place? Can I see your proof of what the engine cost you? Do you think the age of your car and the miles on the car might have something to do with any problems that you've been having, seeing as you had to take it to a mechanic at the beginning of October, then you took it to another mechanic after that? I mean, let's be honest. Most people don't take cars repeatedly in 1 month to a mechanic because they're working perfectly and they just want to check everybody. You know, you take them because there's problems, right?
My truck was running smooth. It ran like a sewing machine. He asked me one time, somewhere in the end of October, can I use your truck? And I let him use my vehicle. Now, I didn't witness him driving it after that, but it had been told that he had been driving the truck around in town. I don't know. I did not witness that. That was somebody else told me about that.
That's pure hearsay,
Pure hearsay,
I'm not going to
exactly.
consider it.
Exactly. But he asked me to drive it. He asked me to drive it one time only. He asked me to drive it one time, and I agreed to say yes. And
he asked you to drive it?
Yes, ma'am.
For what? For his personal affairs or just to test it?
Personal.
Is that accurate?
No.
Is he lying about that? He completely made that up?
He's not lying about me asking. No, he didn't. It wasn't a personal. I did go around the corner. I stopped somewhere, but I had to listen to what was going on.
Oh, so it wasn't personal. It was because you wanted to.
I had to listen to the spark plugs.
Yeah.
Because they always had that tap in it.
Okay. This is kind of a hard call because it's very hard to tell whether this happened. In other words, it's very rare for me to see this, for the mechanic to say, oh, I think my guy, I wouldn't have turned the key, and I'm worried that was a mistake. Usually that side says, it's a really old car, and they usually win because it's very hard to prove that they did something. Now, he's actually trying to, he's trying to get to the bottom of why this happened. He's concerned that one of the reasons is because his guy turned the key. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen, as it were. You're suing for almost more than the blue book value of your car because that's what it costs you to put in a new engine. I understand that. But I feel like the right thing to do here is to have him pay for part of it, but maybe not all of it. I don't like doing that. I like having a real answer to what happened. And I often look at your side and say, well, if you can't prove to me what happened, then too bad for you because you're the one with the burden of proof. But I'm concerned enough about what he said about the guy turning it where I have a feel like maybe that's something that contributed to it. So I'm going to order him to pay you $1,136.11. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Wow.
So the plaintiff ends up getting half of what he was seeking here in court. Mr. Champion, how do you feel about the judge's verdict?
Well, I got to respect it, but I didn't agree with it.
I mean,
and we're friends, so, it don't help me much to know that this was the outcome, but I'm glad I got to the end of it.
Well, it was a close call on her part. She have admitted that, so you got to give him back half of what the cost was. Okay. You say you're friends. Are you still friends now?
I'm not going to let anything materialistic come between a friendship. I wouldn't do that.
Good for you. Good for you. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You must sign a few documents on your way out of the court. All right, Mr. Jones. So you don't get the full amount. You get half of what you were seeking. You okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
What's the status of the truck right now?
I got the new engine in with 72,000 miles. It's running like a sewing machine again.
A new engine with 72,000 miles?
Used engine, but it runs like
But the body has 300,000 miles on it.
Correct.
How long do you think you can nurse this thing alone?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
I mean, you're working overtime on it.
Yes, I am.
No question. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Almost 400,000 at this point.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good luck. Oh.
Okay, these are crazy times, folks, but we continue on here at People's Court. So if you have a case that you want litigated before Judge Marilyn Milian, you can contact us at peoplescourt.com. Our producers will get in touch with you, and if the case is right, you will be on the show. And guess what? There's a bonus. You can have justice dispensed right from your very own home.